And hello everyone, it's time for another flashlight review, and today I have the newest light from the folks at Soonfire. Now, as of the date of this recording, it is very new and it's only been released, at least to Amazon, for the past 2 or 3 weeks. So it is a new model from Soonfire, and their boxes are a little nondescript. They don't really say a whole lot. I mean, it does have an actual picture of the actual flashlight on the box, but doesn't actually identify it in that manner. It is the DS31, and even on Soonfire's website to this date, they don't even have this flashlight listed. They have the DS30, which is slightly different, but this one has a couple of, I guess, more updated features. As you can see here on the bottom, it does give some of the particulars here as far as its ability to be waterproof to 2 meters, and it is impact resistant to 1 meter. And there is your candle power. It is 237 meters for beam distance, and it has a top lumen output of 1050 as per the box, and a low lumen of around 8 or so is the lowest level. But we'll get to that here in a moment. And on the back of the box, it does give a little bit of information here regarding the operation of this particular light, or at least one which is fairly similar, since this happens to be a little bit generic here on the back. So anyway, inside the box here, we'll take out the plastic bed, as it were. Here is the instruction manual, again, which doesn't go into, well, the instruction manual lists, or it's kind of an all-encompassing instruction manual because it lists various types of lights. But this one is in here. It lists the NS and the EZ, and this one right here is under the VSDS category, VSDS headline. So that's what this one is here. So it gives you the particulars on the light as far as that's concerned, but does not tell you details such as what it's made from and what the modes are and so forth. That information it does not give you. But this one is USB rechargeable, so it does explain that here, which I will do. And here, as far as an accessory package, is a fairly simple lanyard, and there's also a switch cover here, a spare switch cover. Here's a holster, and this is a fairly inexpensive holster. I can see from the way it's made. It is a little bit on the cheap side, but it is a holster nonetheless, and should serve you relatively well for at least a while. And inside there is the USB micro charger. And here's the flashlight. So, as we pop this out, you can sort of get an idea of its size. It is just under 6 inches long. Not terribly small, but not too big. It is a lot larger than some of the other competitors' lights from the likes of Olight and so forth. This tends to be a little bit bigger, but even with a pocket clip here, it does fit in a pocket, even in a jeans pocket, fairly well. I have worn it for a day, and you know, it's not terribly, it's not bad at all. There's still room enough to grow in there, room enough to put the rest of the stuff in the pockets that you need to. So, and the clip is very sturdy. So no real issues there. It is a tactical flashlight, and on the bottom you do have a tail switch right here, which has a nice click on it. So that's your tactical. If you do press that lightly, it gives you momentary light. And here's the mode switch on the side, which changes the modes once it's turned on. And here's where it says DS31, and on the other side is the Soonfire name. And it is rather attractive. It has a nice look about it and nice styling, I think. This knurling here is not too bad, and some cooling fins up here near the top. Here's your LED amidst a smooth reflector. It is an XP-L LED. It does not give any other information as to whether it happens to be of a different bin, whether it's a V6 or V3. It doesn't say that, so I'm assuming it's just a plain XP-L without the HI definition, so it's not a high, so the beam isn't terribly concentrated. It has somewhat of a spill to it. It's actually quite a nice beam. I quite like it. So anyway, there's your LED down in there. The other thing that the flashlight comes with is its own battery. So as you take off the back, you'll find the battery already inside. Here's the Soonfire 3400 mAh 18650 battery, which it comes with and which you are intended to charge the flashlight with. Any 18650, of course, will work with the internal charging. It does say in the manual, or at least on their website I should say, that it also accepts CR123 disposable batteries. I wasn't sure what the working voltage was because that's not mentioned anywhere, but since it does mention the CR123s, I'm going to assume that two 16340s would probably work in it as well, and you might even get a couple of, in fact I know 18350s would fit fine in the tube. It's just a matter of whether the voltage goes up over 8 volts to accept batteries such as that. I haven't tried them with it yet because I didn't want to blow out the LED in the rare chance that it might not accept voltages that high. But since it does take up to 6 volts at least with the CR123s, I would assume it goes higher than that. So this is the USB right here. So pull that back, and there's of course is the connector right there, the micro USB. To turn on the light is as simple as you would imagine. Just give it one click and you will get instant light. It does have mode memory, so wherever you stop it, it will come back to that until, of course, you change the batteries or whatever. But this is the lowest of the low, lower low, I think as they call it. Let me just tell you briefly about the lumens. It has lower low, which is about 8, and then there's low, which is about 60 lumens. Then there's medium, which is about 200. Then there's high, which is around 500. And then there's the, I don't know what actually they call the highest mode. I'm going to call it turbo, which I think they might as well. And turbo clocks in at just over 1,000, so around 1,050 is what they're telling us. So those are the modes. It also has SOS and, of course, strobe. So let's turn off this light here and this light here, and we'll look at the low mode. And of course, if you want to head to my website and check out my pictures there, you can see what I've done with it outside and so forth, so you can look at those viewpoints, look at those images on my written review at lightsandgear.com. So this is the lowest mode. Now, as soon as you turn it on, you'll get the indicator here partially lighting up in blue. So that's what you get whenever the light is on. It is in blue. And obviously to turn it off, give it a click, and of course the indicator goes out that way. The momentary light is by just lightly pressing the switch. And there's your tactical, momentary tactical. So firm click locks it in, and then with the press of the side switch, of course, you will advance the modes. Here's low, here's medium, here's high, and here's turbo. So this is pretty bright. It is a nice beam. It does have a center spot to it, and as far as the color, it is true white. It's a cool white, or a very white. And if you check out my beam shots outside, you can see that it does get out pretty far. So again, this is turbo, and of course if I give it one more click, I just go right back down to the lower low. Now at any time you can get to turbo by double clicking. Let me try that again. Double clicking, there we go. So at any time in any of the cycles you can get to turbo by double clicking. And if you give it one more click again, it'll just go back down to the lowest low. And for the flashing modes, the way you get to those is by pressing and holding the side switch, and you get strobe that way. One more click and you're in SOS, and the output also drops for the SOS down to like a medium mode. For the strobe it gives you turbo, and for the SOS it drops down to like a medium. And then if I just give it one click from there, it goes to high mode. And then if I click it again, it'll just keep cycling. So as long as I keep giving it a single click from this set of modes, it'll just keep doing the same thing over and over again, from strobe to SOS and then back to high. Obviously from here you can give it one firm click on the tail switch to turn it off, or you can press and hold and then it goes back to the previous mode you were in before you went into strobe mode. So that's what it does with a holding press from the emergency section. So that's basically the beam. That's basically how you operate it. Now let's take a look at the charging aspect of it, or at least I'll tell you what that does here. Let me turn this light back on. And of course with the charging aspect, or with the internal charging feature, you'll just pull that back and of course insert your insert the cable, insert the micro USB, and I can tell you that. I can tell you, actually, you can take a look at a picture of this on my website as well, just to verify what I'm saying. But as soon as you plug that in, you'll get a flashing red light down here in the switch. First of all, you got to turn it on. So you plug this in, click it on. The light won't go on. The light will be off even after you've clicked it, because this will be connected. So give it a click to switch to turn it on, and then this will be illuminating in red, or at least the bottom half of it will be flashing in red to let you know it's charging. And once the charge is finished, that red light will turn blue. So you'll get a red for charging and a blue for fully charged. And while it was in the charging mode, I tested its current, and it seemed to be pretty good at around 0.7 amps. For the most part, for charging the battery. It'll start dropping, of course, when the battery gets fuller, but overall that's not too bad. So it's certainly usable to charge the battery, or however way you'd like to do that. But I mean, overall this is a pretty decent flashlight. It's not terribly expensive. It is priced in the mid-range, but it does have some quality features, and I think you'd be overall pretty happy with it for the most part. And it is waterproof to IPX8, so no real issues there as well. But I think it is a fairly nice flashlight. As I said, there is a link below. It was supplied by Soonfire for me to test out, so if you'd like to check it out, of course, you can click the link below and take a look at its product page on Amazon. Pick one up there, and you can do the same thing on my website as well if you'd like to take a look at one of these in person. The only thing I'll say for the clip down here is that it does come down over the tail, so you kind of have to turn the tail in smaller turns in order not to get hit by the clip, or in order for that not to get in the way. But that's sort of a small thing there, and as you can see, of course, it tail stands beautifully as well. But not a bad flashlight, the Soonfire DS31. Check it out at lightsandgear.com. Thank you for watching this video. If you do like it, let me know. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.